The clock stopped the moment they thought of you. That silence, it's your confirmation. You've never been crazy, just chosen before your time. Someone's been weeping in secret. It's because they saw who you really are. This pain isn't punishment, it's prophecy waking. You were hidden so no one else could claim what was sacred. They were warned about mishandling your heart. Now they're haunted by it. You felt forgotten, but God was just building your name in rooms they never invited you to. The ones who overlooked you will bow when your name is spoken. You're not broken. You're just glowing through what's killing the old you. They don't know the weight you carry. He does. And he's sending backup. Someone is being led to you by dreams they can't explain. You're not late. You're right on the edge of what was written. Heaven's been holding something with your name on it. It's moving now. Every delay has been protection. Every ache was divine precision. That heartbreak, it's what softened you enough for what's next. You're not being punished. You're being purified. You weren't supposed to fit. You were born to disrupt. You were exiled so they'd have to witness your rise from afar. The truth is they always saw your light. That's why they tried to dim it. Your silence has been louder than their cruelty. Their love wasn't yours because your love is sacred, not convenient. The tears that burned your pillow just watered your crown. The one who abandoned you is now dreaming of your return. They thought you were replaceable. Now they're losing sleep. Your name is being spoken in rooms you haven't entered yet. That person you keep feeling? They're waking up too. You were never meant to chase. You were meant to be revealed. There's a reason they keep seeing signs of you. You're their answer. The people you cried over are now crying over you. Your pain has a schedule. It ends right before your blessing begins. They lied on your name because your truth was too radiant. Your healing is making them uncomfortable. That's confirmation. You didn't lose them. God rerouted you to something holy. You're not being ignored. You're being prepared for something public. The one who misjudged you is begging the heavens for another chance. Your soul contract was never ordinary. That's why your love story won't be either. The one who left will witness the one who loves you correctly. You were betrayed by them, but never by God. Your presence still lives in the room they pretend to forget. The ache you feel isn't emptiness, it's divine momentum. Your soul was never meant to be understood, only honored. You didn't fail. You grew too big for that version of life. Your old self couldn't carry the love that's arriving. That's why she had to die. You thought it ended, but God was just rewriting the final scene. They will apologize in a season you've already healed from. You're not going crazy. You're remembering who you were before they made you forget. That thing breaking your heart? It's the doorway. Even your silence is making someone fall deeper. The person you thought forgot you has been praying for a second chance. If this touched your soul, don't scroll. Comment your favorite quote and subscribe for more. Someone is watching your healing, and it's breaking them more than you ever did. You stopped praying for them. Now they can't sleep. Their absence was your awakening. Their return will be your test. You were too much for them because you were built for more. They'll call it coincidence. You'll know it was divine timing. The same lips that cursed you now speak your name in regret. You weren't left behind. You were set apart. They couldn't recognize you. Heaven hid you in plain sight. You are the prayer someone's soul keeps whispering at 2 a.m. They didn't ghost you. They ran from the power of real love. Your name is showing up in their dreams again. It's a sign. The silence between you is filled with unsent I miss yous. You were their test. They failed. God passed you to someone divine. Don't go back just because they finally woke up. You were born for more. Your glow is different this time. It's grief turned holy. Even the ones who broke, you still feel your absence in the mirror. You're not waiting. You're becoming. That's the difference. That love didn't die. It just went underground to grow deeper roots. They thought you were soft until they felt what it's like to lose you. Someone is asking the universe for one more chance with you. The ache in your chest is them remembering you. Your silence is revealing everything their words never could. That apology is coming, but don't expect it to heal what they destroyed. You were not meant to chase ghosts. You were born to resurrect destinies. They loved you in secret because they couldn't hold something so holy in public. God will reveal why it hurt so deeply and why it had to. Even your old wounds remember the one who caused them. They only knew your light. Someone else will hold your depths. That random pull in your spirit? Their soul whispering for you. You are someone's unfinished sentence. Their silence aches with your name. They thought the chapter ended, but heaven saved your reunion for the final act. Every tear you cried became oil for your crown. They can't replace what they never truly understood. There's someone who knows they ruined their only chance at eternity with you. They wanted your love without your storm, but your storm was sacred too. You weren't too intense, they were too unready. The way you loved them will echo for the rest of their life. Don't chase who couldn't hold your soul with trembling hands. You gave them heaven. Now they're drowning in their own hell. You were their miracle. They treated you like a moment. That feeling in your stomach? Their spirit waking up too late. They watched you bleed and called it drama. You weren't abandoned. You were protected from small love. They knew your worth. That's why they ran before it cost them everything. A soul like yours doesn't just move on. It ascends. Even when they forgot your voice, your energy still speaks in their room. The day you let go, their karma began. They thought you were replaceable. Now they're haunted by your echo. You're the one they'll regret forever, but only whisper about. You left their life, but not their timeline. Your return is divine. God made you hard to forget on purpose. You were meant to haunt. You didn't ask for too much. You just loved from eternity. They saw your crown and called it baggage. Even in silence, your name pulls on their spirit. You were their soul's home. They burned it down. One day, they'll cry for your love in a world that no longer hears it. You weren't left behind. You were lifted higher. They couldn't handle your truth, so they tried to bury it in lies. Your healing became their proof that they never deserved you. Someone is realizing they traded a lifetime for a moment. You loved them like prophecy. They treated you like poetry. They'll never be the same after tasting your light. If this touched your soul, don't scroll. Comment your favorite quote and subscribe for more. It's about the time you know they loved you, but not enough to fight their own wounds for you. You were the prayer they weren't ready to answer. Their silence was never peace. It was fear dressed in distance. You weren't too much. They were too little for your depth. They left, thinking you'd wait. Heaven closed that door for good. They still whisper your name in rooms they swore you'd never enter again. You showed them eternity. They chose convenience. Some hearts need to lose you to recognize your holiness. What you gave was divine. What they offered was delay. Your love scared them, not because it was wrong, but because it was right. They feel you in every silence they can't fill. Their goodbye didn't mean peace, it meant pause. The truth? They never stopped wanting you. They just stopped trying. Your name still echoes through their hollow choices. You were their safest storm. One day, they'll ache for the silence you once healed. God let them walk away so you could finally rise. You weren't abandoned. You were released from their indecision. Even now, their soul pulls toward yours in secret. You were the miracle they mistook for a lesson. They loved you too late. Now time won't open that door again. You didn't ask for too much. You just refused to shrink. Their guilt can't silence your glow. You held the love they prayed for but fumbled. What they lost was sacred. They will miss you when joy feels foreign. You were the prophecy they betrayed. The pain you feel now is their reflection trying to reach you. You made them feel holy, and they ran from redemption. They'll revisit you in memories that don't forgive. You didn't leave, they let go. You are the cost of their silence. Even their shadow misses your light. They touched heaven through you and chose hell again. Their new love won't erase the echo of your name. You gave what can't be repeated. You haunt them without trying. Your healing became their consequence. You carried them in prayer. They carried you in pride. Their regret is beginning. Your freedom already started. Some goodbyes are God's rescue. You deserved forever, they gave you maybe. Their heart still recognizes your spirit. You were the softest truth they ever feared. You were not left. You were protected. They'll hear your name in blessings they don't receive. They chose ease. You were an altar. You didn't lose them. You outgrew the weight. You are the ending their new beginning can't outrun. If this touched your soul, don't scroll. Comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. You gave peace to someone who only knew war. Their silence is their punishment. You were God's answer. They wanted a shortcut. Even the stars remember your love. They miss you more than they admit, even to themselves. You felt like home. They weren't ready to settle. They knew you were different. That's why they left. You brought heaven close. They weren't done with hell. The ones who leave loud, cry quiet. They left hoping you'd chase. You healed instead. They'll call you prideful for choosing peace. Your love exposed their emptiness. You're not unforgettable. You're unrepeatable. They had you and still felt hollow. God didn't let them keep you. He was saving you. You're not too much. You're exactly what they couldn't carry. They were not your mirror. They were your lesson. You forgave what should have broken you. Even angels pause to watch you love like that. You were never meant to chase, only to be recognized. Their comfort couldn't hold your calling. One day, they'll understand what they let die. You were holy ground. They walked away barefoot. They looked for you in people who can't hold your echo. You are the ache they pretend doesn't exist. They turned love into a war and lost. You were their sign. They ignored it. Even their peace feels different without your energy. They traded the divine for the familiar. Their heart flinches every time they see your face in dreams. They felt safe and didn't know how to receive it. You didn't lose. You were released. You weren't forgotten. You were protected. Even now, you're the what if they can't outrun. They thought you were a season. You were the whole shift. You offered growth. They chose comfort. You are what their soul calls for when it's quiet. Their guilt cannot reach where you've grown. You weren't the heartbreak. You were the healing. God took you back when they started fumbling you. You loved them through shadows. They left you in the dark. The love you gave still visits their spirit. You weren't too intense. They were too numb. They feel you in every failed connection. You were the one their soul won't forget, even when their lips do. Their fear destroyed what they begged to receive. You didn't disappear. You ascended. You were the calm they called boring. The grief they carry has your name in it. You were the clarity they blurred. Their next lover won't silence your memory. They miss your voice, not just your presence. You were the lesson and the loss. Your absence became the mirror they avoid. They called you dramatic. Now they dream in regret. They wanted you quiet. You became divine thunder. They never deserved the prayers you whispered for them. You taught them depth they couldn't survive. You were always too eternal for temporary hearts. You were a divine interruption to their destruction. They confused your grace for weakness. You weren't just love, you were deliverance. Their future still bends toward your memory. You became their unfinished chapter. Their closure came too late. Your gates were already sealed. You turned wounds into wings. You forgave them, but their soul still remembers. You were the lighthouse they refused to sail toward. Their dreams have not forgiven them. You are the secret prayer they whisper now. They couldn't handle the heaven you carried. You were the soul they swore they'd never meet. Their lies can't outlive your truth. You weren't hard to love. They were unready. You made them feel seen. They ran back to blindness. You weren't the storm. You were the sky. They feared your purity more than their own chaos. You loved through betrayal. God saw it all. You were not a phase. You were prophecy. They keep trying to forget. God won't let them. You felt sacred, because you were. They remember your softness in every cold goodbye. You never left, you just stopped waiting. They hoped you'd break. You became holy instead. You offered rebirth, they feared resurrection. They'll chase shadows trying to replace your light. Your voice is the echo they dread. You weren't just different. You were divine. You still linger in their unspoken prayers. You were the answer that came too soon. They tried to forget you, but your love was eternal. They regret it, and heaven made sure they feel it. They'll never find another you, not even in dreams. You are the silence that makes their world loud. They didn't lose you. They lost themselves. Your love broke every curse on them. They still ran. You loved fully. They loved safely. Even now, they seek you in every almost. You were their last chance to get it right. If this touched your soul, don't scroll. Comment your favorite quote and subscribe for more.